How about them Cowboys? Well, they were facing them Broncos, and them Broncos can be real rough to play. There's Bo Nix and his boys. First quarter, Bronx down 3-0. From the 40, R.J. Harvey gets the handoff. Cowboys can't seem to remember how to tackle, and he is gone. 40-yard touchdown. Bronx go up 7-3. Later in the first, same score. Bo Nix dropping back. Troy Franklin touchdown. Well, they can't stop a cold right now, Coach.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Broncos up 14-3. Under a minute left in the second quarter. Bronx 20-10. No, now it's more. Next finding Pat Bryant.
That's good coverage, but that's such a great throw.
Yeah, he's right on the money there. 27-10, and then Broncos up 30-17. Just pouring it on. Franklin back of the end zone for the easy score. Broncos roll 44-24 over Dallas. And here's Jared Jones, Nuance Sports Center.
This ownership group, they've really come in here over these last 3 years, and they've really turned this thing around. Their entire enthusiasm of the fans, the team, and that was formidable for us out there tonight. They beat us physically. Their lines beat us, but their overall team, and they did it with a young quarterback. My hat's off to them. Great win for them. We all know that we think a lot of Sean Payton. It was a big win for them. We had high hopes because we thought we could come in here and have a big win for us. It didn't happen. They had everything to do with it. We got to get better.
Jerry, the inconsistency with this team winning one week, losing the other has been pretty staggering. How do you evaluate your team right now, 8 games in?
Well, I am not happy at all with winning 3 ball games at all. And that starts really for what our goals are. Can we play better? Of course we can play better. But we knew coming in here, their fronts, both their defense and offensive front, was going to be a challenge for us. And we needed to offensively be able to play against a real big-time defense, and they played well, their defense. So I'm more impressed with how they handled us, our offense, because it was up front that made a lot of difference there. Secondly, I thought that we could stop them better defensively. We all saw the same thing out there. We've got a lot of work to do.
Your defense showed some strides against the Commanders. Your defense played better against the Commanders. Did that make it even tougher to watch, the fact that they couldn't play well at all today?
Well, at this juncture, you would look at it from the standpoint of how do we go forward and how do we play better. And again, I've said all along, you've got to, out there, you've got to step up and against the running game. I think we had 10 or 11 plays at almost a half or halfway through the second.
Schottenheimer, as he takes to the podium after the loss.
I think, when you look at it, I'm not just going to start with the defense. I don't think any of us coached or played well enough. We knew we'd have to come in and own the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Cody, what are the...
I think it started up front. You got to give Denver a lot of credit. I think they moved us around pretty good. Had some big explosive runs, and that's hard. But, I told the guys, I said, look, it's one game. We did not play well. We did not coach well. We're going to get right back to work tonight. And if you let it bleed over into 2 and 3 games, then that means you're not a competitor, because this happens in this league.
When you got 3 points in that first possession, you look back and say, maybe you should have had 7. When your second possession, you got some penalties there.
Yeah, definitely. A chance for sudden change. We get the turnover right away. We're down there on the half-yard line. I didn't see the penalty. But, the discipline, has to be better. I felt like there was 4 or 5 pre-snap penalties in the first half that definitely hurt us. You come into a tough place to play like this, you have to do a great job of having the discipline, and you got to score touchdowns in the red zone because there's big momentum gains that happens when you do that. So, unfortunately, we did not do that. I thought the guys fought. I thought they battled. But at the end of the day, we did not coach or play well enough today to beat a good football team.
Clarence Hill, the LLS Cowboys. You talked about Dak's play. Thought a key turning point was certainly at the end of the half when he took a chance down the middle. Then he had a field goal in his back pocket. Was he pressing, or because you had to score 10 to not settle for field goal?
I don't think so. I think we all felt it. Clarence. I mean, like, it was one of those deals where, like, it was hard to get into rhythm a little bit, you know. They played us two-man, and he had a chance to go down the middle on Fergie, and it was, I think, the rookie, Barron, kind of looked back and got it. But I don't think so. I think, you know, at the end of the day, Dak's done a great job of trying to just say each play is its own, and, you know, I don't think that. You know, I think that, you know, but we have to win the takeover battle. You know, we didn't do that. You know, we've been doing that really, really well. And so, you know, you have the one right before the half, then you have the other one right, you know, down there late when we're fighting our butts off, try to get back in it. And that's not who we are. But, no, I don't think that it had him pressing or anything like that.
You get a game like this and know you have to match touchdown for touchdown score because the way your defense was certainly playing early, you have to score with them.
Yeah, we feel like we can play, you know, with anybody no matter how the game goes. We really do. And, again, unfortunately today we did not capitalize. I really do think the first drive that we had, I think, you know, we need to come away with 7 there. That was disappointing that we didn't. But again, this is a good football team, talking about us, that did not play very well today. We did not coach very well today. I wasn't very good today. I don't think Flus thinks he was very good today, you know. Clayton doesn't think he was very, very good today. So we'll look at it. We're going to look at it on the plane, and we've got the extra day this week to get ready for Arizona, and that's what we're going to do. That's what good teams do. I told the guys that. I said good teams, you know, they look at it, they look in the mirror. Adversity is a good thing, you know, and no one likes to lose, and it's a humbling league when you come in here and you play a good football team and you kind of get beat the way we did, but get back to work.
Brian Schottenheimer with Espn. You're 3-4-1, and you're saying you're a good football team. How do those two things match up?
Yeah, I think, you know, I see us every day, Todd. You know, I do see us every day. I see what we're capable of. Here's the word that's coming back again, consistency. You know, we're not very consistent, and we have to be more consistent, you know. Last week we did a great job stopping the run. You know, tonight we didn't. And so therein lies a problem. Last couple games we've been protecting the football, which has given us a chance. Tonight we didn't. So I think we're a talented football team. I know we have things to get better at and improve on, but I do think we're a good football team. And we played a good football team tonight and didn't play well. And so, again, I'm going to give them credit, and they deserve it.
Coach Brian Schottenheimer following the loss, 44-24, the final against the Denver Broncos. You can hear all of Schotty on the YouTube channel after the fact and on DallasCowboys.com alongside former Cowboys Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. This is Cowboys OT. Isaiah, your thoughts on Brian Schottenheimer talking about what he saw in this matchup early and how really things just snowballed for Dallas early and they weren't able to get any sort of control on that football game.
Yeah, one thing I do have for Coach Schottenheimer is a high regard because he doesn't make any excuses. He sat up there and told you guys, hey, we were pretty much, in so many words, we were trash today. You know, we got outplayed. They did everything right. We did everything wrong. We have a lot of things to clean up. They were the better team. That's facts. It's no different than what we're sitting here telling you guys right now. So I love to see that from the head coach. And the thing is, he just had to find a way to stop having to say this every other week.
Yeah,
that's what you're running into.
Yes, sir. That's the thing that this team, needs to figure out, the consistency. You can't be, great at home and then you go on the road and nothing shows up. You can't get beaten all 3 phases of the football game and expect to win games on the road. But I agree with you when you talk about Schottenheimer. I like his message to the players. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He understood that the players got, outplayed, and the coaches as well. They got outcoached. I mean, the scheme that Denver had defensively was immaculate. Offensively, they picked on, the guys that they had backups in the secondary for the Dallas Cowboys, and they took advantage of it. So it comes down simple as that. He understands that once they get back, they got an extra day to prepare because they play Arizona on Monday. They got to get in the film room, correct what they did wrong, and go out there and move forward as a team. But there's no sugarcoating when it comes to Schottenheimer, and I respect that message.
So I understand both of you guys, what you said, what Coach Schotty said, but when does it stop?
Yeah, that's true.
When does it stop? I mean, I ain't no bigger fan than Coach Schottenheimer and Nate Newton, but that cannot be the message. The message is you got an interception. You went down away. You supposed to come away with 7 points. You got fly down there, you got cute, and you got backed up, then you get a penalty. Now you get 3 points. You don't do that. You go down, you let Javonte Williams run the ball in. You on even ground. You letting them know where you stand. Your defense, you go out, you stop the run, and you go from that point. And now it's tit for tat. Now you're giving your offense a chance. That's how I see it.
Almost the exact same way Dallas defeated Washington last week was the way that Denver defeated Dallas this week. And you even just run it down schedule-wise. Loss, win, loss, tie, win, loss, win, loss.
The roller coaster.
That's the definition of inconsistency.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is. And to be completely fair, you return home against Arizona this week on Monday Night Football. You can't sleepwalk into that game, but you should probably win that football game based off of some of the things we've seen this year. So it might be the other way around again. Dallas is hoping. That's the fact going into the bye week. Cowboys now at 3-4-1. When we come back, we hear from Dak Prescott. What went wrong on the offensive side of the football?
Surprise for sure. It's a good word to use. Frustrated as well. Frustrating. Yeah, as you said, right, what we've been doing, what we're capable of doing, didn't really ever get it going. Having an opportunity right there in the first drive of getting down there in the red zone, being able to have a chance to put 7 up and settling for a field goal, that was the start of it. And the rest just kind of followed that, and us not making the plays that was necessary. And credit to those guys. Credit to Coach Joseph, defensive coordinator, making it tough on us. And they got the best of us, that's for sure.
Protected the ball pretty good today. You do 2 picks to 1 to Ferguson. You just press the field and you take us through that one, and you have another one also inside the red zone.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a force. That one right before half. They're playing 2-man. Was working the slant to the left. 2-man inside leverage wasn't there. Came back and was hoping that, maybe me and Ferg, right, could just kind of make a ball player's play. And the DB made the better play. He turned faster than I wanted him to. Ferg was more on top of him, so the back shoulder wasn't quite the throw, and that's what I threw, and he made the catch, and just a force right there. And then the one later is just pure miscommunication. CeeDee wanted to go around the guy and keep going. I was expecting him to sit it down right and just kind of trust throw it right there. The guy made a hell of a play, and so that's just got to be on the same page, especially in the red zone, especially in a game like this when we're trying to come back and get in the end zone. So 2 unacceptable plays, really.
Yeah, until the LLS Cowboys, we've talked several times about the pressure of having to keep up, and often having to score.
Yep.
Going back to that play through the half, you had a field goal in the back pocket pretty much.
Yep.
And you get the ball to start the second half. But it seemed like I'm not settling for a field goal, 30 seconds left, I'm trying to make a big play down the field.
Yeah, well,
that one of those situations where I want to score a touchdown, not necessarily settle for a field goal.
Yeah, definitely pressed there. I wouldn't say that was trying to, let's go get a touchdown, but definitely was trying to make the field goal easier, was trying to get more than what I still think we probably needed 5 or so. Maybe we didn't need anything, right, with Brandon, but trying to make it easier on him. Like I said, it was really working a slant. Slant wasn't there. Great defensive call there. And 2-man was a great call versus the play that we had. And like I said, I forced the throw and wasn't the type of throw that was required in that situation, and really should have just got off of that and progressed. And so, yeah, to your point, that was one of those of, being frustrated, trying to keep up, and just can't do that, period.
Lots of learning moments from Dak Prescott following the 44-24 loss to Denver.
Cowboys Nation, Sunday in Denver was a test, one that exposed every crack, every vulnerability, and every inch of frustration inside this 2025 Dallas Cowboys team. The final score said 44-24, but the story was much deeper than numbers. This wasn't just a game. It was a mirror held up to a franchise at a crossroads. The Broncos played faster, tougher, and more disciplined, and for much of the afternoon, the Cowboys were chasing shadows. But beneath the disappointment and the visible exhaustion, there's a sense around the star that this might be the moment that finally wakes Dallas up. When you look at this game objectively, everything that could go wrong did. The Cowboys entered Week 8 battered and shorthanded, especially in the secondary. Trevin Diggs remained unavailable, and with multiple defensive backs sidelined, rookie and backup players were thrust into starting roles against one of the league's most balanced offenses. Bo Nix, the Broncos' rookie quarterback, played with the poise of a veteran, throwing 3 touchdowns and capitalizing on every miscue from Dallas's coverage unit. ESPN's postgame report summed it up perfectly. The Cowboys' defense didn't just bend, it broke. That defensive regression is what's now dominating headlines across the league. Since the trade that sent Micah Parsons to Green Bay, Jerry Jones and defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus have preached patience. The idea was to build a more complete defensive line, anchored by veteran Kenny Clark and emerging pass rusher James Houston. For the first few weeks, the plan seemed promising. But in Denver, that front seven looked overmatched. The Broncos ran for nearly 180 yards, most of it between the tackles, a gut punch for a unit that was supposed to be tougher up the middle. NFL Network's James Palmer reported Sunday night that Jones and the Cowboys front office are evaluating everything ahead of the trade deadline. Sources within the team have also told The Athletic that internal discussions have already taken place regarding potential moves to bolster the defensive edge and cornerback depth. While the team is being cautious, there's genuine interest in finding a proven pass rusher to stabilize this defense heading into November. The offensive side wasn't much better. Dak Prescott finished with 188 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. It was arguably his toughest outing of the year, though the stat line doesn't tell the full story. Behind a struggling offensive line that lost the battle early, Dak was hit, pressured, and forced to move constantly. Rookie left tackle Tyler Guyton's early false start on the opening drive cost Dallas a chance to punch in a touchdown after CeeDee Lamb's 29-yard reception. That 5-yard penalty set the tone. Momentum killed before it ever had a chance to breathe. Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach and offensive architect, didn't shy away from accountability postgame. Speaking to local media at the podium, he said, "It starts with me. We didn't execute, and I didn't have us ready, but we're not going to run from this. We're going to respond." That's exactly the tone this locker room needed, because while the 44-24 scoreline looks ugly, it's not an obituary, it's a warning. If you watched the game closely, you saw moments of fight. CeeDee Lamb didn't stop competing. 7 catches for 74 yards and 2 drawn penalties inside the red zone. George Pickens, who's rapidly becoming a reliable weapon opposite Lamb, delivered one of the most impressive plays of the season with his 4th and 2 sideline toe tap catch. Jake Ferguson was quiet, but his blocking on 2 key red zone plays kept drives alive. And then there's Javonte Williams, who found the end zone twice and gave Dallas at least a glimpse of the physical identity Schottenheimer wants this offense to embrace. Still, there's no denying it. The Cowboys are 3-4-1, limping toward the bye week and sitting outside the NFC playoff picture. Yet, remarkably, they remain very much alive. The Philadelphia Eagles' inconsistency has kept the NFC East open. ESPN's playoff analytics still give Dallas a 39% chance to make the postseason, and that number could jump to over 50% with a win next week against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. That brings us to the bigger question. Is this the wake-up call Jerry Jones and his team needed? Jones has been uncharacteristically quiet this week, but multiple outlets, including Bleacher Report and Pro Football Network, report that Dallas is exploring options to bring in veteran help.